My name is Oliver Zeller. I'm the co-founder and co-product owner of P+Z. So that means co-product owner. I'm one of the product owner. We have 3 of them. That's Elmar Kubata and Thorsten Molin. And we are focusing on getting Symbio into the right direction, into the right innovation. So that's also one point today, the acceleration of S/4HANA programs. And we can also say it's business, all about business transformation. S/4HANA stands for also it would be possible to come up with Microsoft Salesforce programs and to establish a map for business optimization. I think at the end, it's very important that you're not only using a tool like process modeling tool for modeling in a project. So it's much more. It's at the end a business map that you create. So from the whole Symbio team, I would like to say thank you to SPV and to BpExpert for their commitment and the participation in the last weeks. We are working at the moment on an interesting new product together. And we give you an idea today what is coming up and how we can accelerate and optimize business IT, business transformation programs. So we are very happy also on this cooperation with BpExpert and SPV. And so we give you today an idea. First of all, I would like to introduce the partners. Then we want to go into the motivation of SPV and BpExperts. And then we have a look, what is the automated, what is behind what we're delivering to our customers. And at the end, we want to come up in a discussion with you, what are other ideas for further automations in the S/4HANA projects to drive the application lifecycle management into a real integrated management system. Okay, I hope Oliver is already in the call. And Marian, I saw you already. So Oliver, when you are here, please introduce yourself.
Unfortunately, he's not there yet.
Okay. Okay, then Marian, perhaps you can start.
All right. My name is Marian Dipkovic. I'm working for Business Process Experts, and we are helping companies with their business transformation initiatives. But where we put our emphasis on is a process-driven approach to it. And we do this with our content, which is called Business Flows, about which I will talk in a minute more.
Okay. My name is Oliver Zeller. I already said this. My focus, or our focus from the company, is to have an operational business and continuous improvement platform. And so we work together on exactly this, that the customer is not doing this every time in the beginning of a project, so he can reuse it. So is Oliver already there?
No, I'm sorry.
Okay, then I will say some words to Oliver. Oliver is the Chief Strategic Officer from SPV. And SPV is is a very traditional and very good process and organizational consulting company with a focus on SAP implementations, but not only SAP as a software. So it goes all about the ideal processes and how they can come up from a strategy down to. But I hope he will be there in a couple of minutes to introduce SPV. But and implementing is for him not just a measure. It's not like a goal. It's a measure, and we take care of the processes. I think that's very important for SPV. Okay, you give me a note when he's back.
Yeah, I'll do
this. Coming. Okay. Okay, then let's go into the motivation of BpExperts. I jump over quickly SPV, and perhaps Marian, you can start with some background of BpExperts and what you are doing, what we are doing here together with you.
All right, thank you, Oliver. So I would like to start off with a question that many customers have asked us repeatedly, namely, why do I have to discuss things such as architecture, conventions, and processes from scratch? Isn't there a kind of template that we can use or a kind of best practice? Based on these kind of questions and our long industry experience, we have created a solution. We call it Business Flows. Business Flows is a business process reference repository, and we offer it to our customers to help them to accelerate their business transformation initiative. And as I mentioned before, with a strong emphasis on a process-driven approach. So, but what does Business Flow actually cover? Oliver, could you move on to the next slide, please? Thank you. So, first of all, it covers 11 domains, 170 business scenarios, and even 475 BPMNs. It is end-to-end oriented, and it offers a clear architecture and conventions that are compatible with SAP Solution Manager. And finally, it has a simple three-level hierarchy architecture. So you probably wonder how you can access our content. It's pretty simple, and I'm happy to announce that you do not have to use Excel. Instead of that, we highly recommend using Symbio. So Oliver, could you move on to the next slide? Thank you. Symbio really offers strong object relation-based features that support all of our features, from our business transformation framework to our process repository. It offers also governance functionality and helps you to boost your process-driven business transformation activities, such as scoping, reporting, and it even offers integrations with Solman and JIRA. And that being said, I would like to hand over to Oliver, who will tell you more about how you can accelerate your next S/4HANA initiative.
Yeah. So I would say something to BpExpert. So when we came up together and we looked into this process model and into this complete business flows, and it's more than flows. I think your name should be a little bit bigger, Marianne, like business flows, because you have more than business flows. So, and I think it's a brilliant, and when we saw, also when BpExpert saw Symbio and when we saw the business flows from BpExpert, it was really clear to establish a nice new content and an overall content that goes from a strategy, from a customer journey, to a process house, to a process model, to a requirement management, an existing management, and to an IT architecture. So that gives you a complete picture and the complete possibility to run this in an S/4HANA program. And it's also connected, I think you also mentioned it, with this SAP and JIRA, and so through the SAP best practices and the possibility to use also if a customer decides to use the SAP model company to combine this. So I think that's a brilliant platform that both the content and our platform gives us a strong capability. So it's Oliver there. No. Jennifer.
No,
Jennifer?
unfortunately not.
Okay. Now it's difficult for me, but I give you a quick overview. I already said SPV was founded 1983, and since 1984, and this is a real long time, they are a sub-consulting and technology partner. And the focus of them is not only to implement SAP, it's more. They see it as an organizational driven, process driven. Also, they come with processes and structures. And this is also the idea of this collaboration also between BpExpert, P+Z and SPV, to bring this also together, to have this long history and experience of SAP projects and programs, and to have the content, the procedure. It's also part in our platform. The procedure that comes a little bit from SPV, and they use it now in their projects. And they are really organizational change management. People and analytics are very important points as well. They have a procedure. It works like this. Unfortunately, I'm not experienced in the procedure personally, so it's difficult for me to give you the certain points. But I think it's very important. They start sometimes with digital routes, like Celonis. SPV is also a Celonis partner. They have a good project preparation. They have everything in place, like also strategies, and then they work on the potentials. If they start a project, first of all, they looked what is the potentials for this measure, and what can they do to give the customer a high value and better processes. I think that's the most important point. It's not like only to migrate to a new system like S4HANA. It's much more. It's like optimizing and implementing the best process at the customer. So yeah, that's then they developed the blueprint, and when they saw Symbio in the beginning, when we came together, it was last year at the DSAG 2019. We met each other, and they talked about the organization digitalization, that digital transformation capability, and how they proceed. And it was like, hey, that sounds really nice. So you are thinking in the same way like our company. And then we had this meeting in Munich, and they saw Symbio, and I remember the reaction was like, oh, we did some in SAP Solution Manager, and it was good, but the performance to model is not like the performance that we see here with Symbio, and this gives us the possibility to improve also on the modeling and all this data capturing our project efficiently, and come up with a better customer satisfaction. And we see also the platform as a combination to get the business into the IT project and the IT into the business, so that it's something in between, a middleware between business and IT. So, and I think this is very important for them. Also was very important that we are working very closely together with Celonis, and that we have this content with BpExperts, and that we have a wide thinking about an integrated management system. So yeah, then I go over to our points, the automated S4HANA, what we are doing. So now I give you a slide with a lot of information. So, but we start, and better our partners start, our consulting partners. So we are establishing a lot of new consulting partners that they can use Symbio on the complete SAP Activate methodology or on their own methodology. But in the beginning, we start with this business map, because it's not only a process model, it's strategy, it's customer journey, it's projects in it, it's BPM flows, it's end-to-end scenarios. There's a complete IT architecture in it, and there is SAP best practices that comes from the Solution Manager's interface into Symbio or the model company. And we also have the Celonis best practice. That means we import Celonis activities into Symbio and consolidate them with the model. And if you have a later on an analysis, or you begin in the beginning of a project, you use Celonis for analysis, then you can easily combine the actual model with the to-be model. And I think that gives you another opportunity in the beginning to have a look, what are your existing processes, what are your potentials, what are your changes to a new system, and to define a better to-be model. And this is something that we offer, and then you can define the project, you can easily scope the project. So Symbio has also the possibility to completely filter the business map on different criteria. One criteria could be that you have only a production plant that's only producing your products. There's no CRM processes relevant. There's also perhaps no service processes, there's more and more the supply chain processes in place. So then you can scope this and filter immediately, completely onto it, into the scope. That's part then also in the deployment, into the run. It gives you a quick possibility to make your content smaller or only filtered to the certain deployment. Then it's also possible to generate an RFP, also on an HTML base. If you start in the discovery phase and you're also looking on your from your customer journeys perspective, that you need a consulting firm. And then you have the automated modeling possibility to make the process mapping, to have the end-to-end scenario. Most of you know the modeling capability. And yeah, we are also happy to improve this modeling capability also in the next months with a little bit more of automatic data changes and mass data changes. And then it's also a very important point, the connected requirement management. So if you do the fit gap analysis, we have a customer, they use Symbio on the one beamer and another one on the other projector. So not another one, the S4HANA system on another, and then they go through the S4HANA system and use the best practices and say, oh, okay, on this process step, we have a requirement, place the requirement. And this requirement, after they have a good quality of the requirement, will automatically sync to JIRA or to other systems like Azure DevOps or Dimensions. And yeah, so we have now three requirement management or task management tools that we're using for an HR project, especially. They are connected, so and then it's easy to collaborate with that in the team. So that means Symbio is then connected to the task management, to the complete, where all the people in the project working on the different requirements to fulfill the requirements, and they are connected to processes, to end-to-ends, and then you know exactly what is your maturity of your process landscape. Then we generate automatically the docs. We generate automatically the IT architecture that comes from SAP Zoneman, and the rest you add into this IT landscape, and you get already a complete IT landscape in our database. So what we are also planning is an integration of an RPR, that we can also map the RPA robots. So I think but that's planned at the moment. We are working on this in the next weeks. So, and then you can also use the processes, the end-to-end scenarios for tests, and you can filter that is on a certain end-to-end scenario. And what you can also do is a process-oriented learning based on roles, based on applications. And at the end, what you are creating here is a complete business map with the possibility then to do changes easily, to do more and more the continuous selective optimization. And I think that's very important. You see the impact very easy. You change on one point and all is connected via the different objects, and it gives you an idea what is the change. So overall, we have a predefined business map, predefined project procedure, automatically automated modeling and generation of specs. Also in the future, we will bring up our new tool, the Employee Assistant, and there we will have the ALM Cloud Assistant. So it means it will be also web-based, the specification in the future. Then we have the interfaces. We create, or you create as a customer, the holistic business map and establish a platform for continuous improvement. And I think that's the most important part. Here you see potential. It's really different. It's different how you use this, but in this project, we made a calculation and we come up on 10%, and it was a big project, and that means 20 person years. That means 2 million euros potential of savings. Okay, I think 20 minutes are now off. We're coming up to the workshop. Are there any questions?
Yeah, thank you, Alvin. Thank you, Marianne. There's actually a couple of questions here. The first one is, does it mean that the customer portal that has been announced 3 years. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong question. Will you only focus on one process mining provider such as Celonis, or will you also offer import methods for other process mining tools, Prom or Signavio?
So it's possible to import and export and to collaborate with other process mining tools. But what we are doing with Celonis is special. It's much more, and so yeah. But it will work also with other process mining tools. This is it's an open interface. We do this with an open interface.
Okay, and then there's another question: can the requirement also be entered directly in Symbio initial?
Yes, definitely, and I think that's very important in the mapping. So you capture this requirement, and it will automatically transfer it after a release or after you press the button into JIRA, for example.
Okay, and then we close it up with the last one. Can Symbio be used to determine the differences between the original best practice process and to be processed as a result of the concept phase?
Yes. If you start with our predefined content and you develop your own content, you develop perhaps 2 different models. You can compare the models graphically and textually. So that means you can see what was the change between the to-be model and the actual model, and it gives you an understanding in the project. That will be also part of the ALM Cloud Assistant. And I would say this is also a little bit a part of the next keynote with Elmar and Steffen. They all also come up a little bit with that.